Sean Combs apparently refusing jail food. He actually thinks someone might poison him behind bars.
Diddy has been behind bars for roughly 144 days, yet his name keeps popping up in headlines. From accusations of jealousy to reports of bizarre behavior and emotional meltdowns, it seems the drama surrounding him never ends. But how much of this is actually true? Who could Diddy possibly be jealous of in prison, and what's really going on behind those walls? Join us as we reveal the shocking truth about Diddy's prison drama. Diddy behind bars. Prison is another world on its own. It's a society that operates with its own rules, power dynamics, and of course drama. Inside these walls, reputations are currency, alliances are survival tools, and the hierarchy is as rigid as it is fragile. It's a place where survival often depends on your ability to adapt, charm, or simply intimidate. In every correctional facility, there's a social order. At the top are the so-called shot callers, individuals who wield power through physical prowess, razor-sharp wit, or the uncanny ability to manipulate alliances. These are the folks who settle disputes, decide who gets what, and occasionally who sleeps soundly at night. For those on the outside, prison might seem like an alien universe, but for those inside, it's just another stage where power, influence, and the deep human need to belong play out in their rawest forms. So when Sean Diddy Combs landed in prison, you can bet your last ramen packet he wasn't going to be just another inmate. With his popularity and strong desire for commanding attention, it was only a matter of time before he climbed the prison social ladder. But then Luigi Mangione walks into the same facility as Diddy, and suddenly the prison social order gets a seismic jolt. The cause? Jealousy. But what could have triggered this supposed envy? Was Mangione's presence a genuine threat to Diddy's popularity, or was this just another case of tabloids doing what they do best, blowing things out of proportion? Jealousy or just survival? Most people are familiar with the name Luigi Mangione, but for those who are wondering who he is, Luigi Mangione is a name that's been making waves. Mangione stands accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, with charges that include murder as an act of terrorism. Heavy stuff, no doubt. But here's the twist. Mangione has somehow become a prison icon. The inmates are practically lining up for his autograph if solitary confinement allowed for such a thing, and the media can't seem to get enough of his tragic vigilante-esque backstory. Why, you ask? Well, Mangione's tale of woe involves losing loved ones to inadequate health care, a narrative that's earned him a bizarre mix of sympathy and admiration amongst the inmates. He's been branded a symbol of resistance, a man who allegedly channeled personal grief into a statement against systemic injustice. But not everyone was thrilled to see Mangione step through those prison gates, especially Diddy, who until now is enjoying his own slice of penitentiary fame. According to sources, the rapper has been fuming over Mangione stealing his thunder. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, what's fueling this jealousy? Is Diddy really unhappy about being dethroned? Let's break it down. Currently, Mangione is being held in solitary confinement, a setup that somehow hasn't stopped his reputation from flourishing among the prison population. Rumor has it that Diddy has been throwing tantrums over Mangione's newfound popularity. But let's not be too quick to judge Diddy here. After all, prison is no picnic, and feeling overshadowed by someone with arguably more serious charges could rattle anyone's ego. Still, one can't help but chuckle at the irony of it all. Two men, one a hip-hop legend and the other an alleged healthcare vigilante, locked in an unspoken battle for prison popularity. The two men, currently residing in the same correctional facility, also share an unexpected connection. Their legal teams are, well, practically family. Mangione has enlisted Karen Friedman Agnifilo as his attorney, while her husband, Mark Agnifilo, is representing Diddy. Naturally, this cozy overlap has sparked whispers of a potential conflict of interest, but in true lawyerly fashion, both legal camps have zipped their lips tighter than a briefcase full of confidential files. No comment here, no comment there. It's like a courtroom mime show. While their legal teams keep them connected, insiders insist that Diddy and Mangione are far from bosom buddies. In fact, sources claim the two haven't exchanged so much as a nod in the cafeteria line. They don't have anything in common, one insider dished. Apparently, Diddy's rumored jealousy isn't about Mangione himself, but rather the perception that Mangione might be getting preferential treatment. For Mangione, the legal support has reportedly given him a confidence boost as he prepares for his trial. Meanwhile, Diddy is busy juggling his own mountain of legal troubles, including allegations of trafficking and over 150 claims of inappropriate behavior with both men and women. It's safe to say that both men have their hands full, though their experiences inside the same facility couldn't be more different. And according to the grapevine, this disparity has become a sore spot for Diddy, because if there's one thing worse than being in prison, it's being in prison and feeling like someone else is winning at it. But of course, not everyone is buying into the drama. Skeptics argue that this is just another case of the media trying to get our attention, and Diddy's team has publicly shot down the rumors of jealousy. Still, the idea of Diddy fretting over Mangione's alleged favoritism has captured the imagination of the public. At the end of the day, both Diddy and Mangione are facing serious legal battles with life-altering consequences. While their shared legal connections make for juicy gossip, it's important to remember that these are real people navigating incredibly challenging circumstances. So what's your take on all this? Like, is it a genuine case of legal entanglement gone awry? Or just media sensationalism at its finest? Let us know in the comments, because if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that everyone loves a good courtroom meets prison scandal. Prison Meltdown. Sean Diddy Combs, the iconic rapper and music mogul, reportedly had what can only be described as a full-blown holiday meltdown at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. And honestly, who can blame him? Spending Christmas behind bars isn't exactly anyone's idea of festive cheer, but what exactly sent Diddy spiraling into a sudden meltdown? On December 26, 2024, just one day after everyone else was unwrapping gifts and sipping eggnog, Diddy was reportedly unraveling. According to sources, the rapper was annoyed that he was still stuck in MDC months after his arrest on several crime charges. Apparently, Diddy had been banking on his high-powered legal team to work their magic and have him out on bail by now. Sadly, they didn't. The Daily Mail reported that the prolonged stay behind bars hit Diddy hard, turning his holiday season into a nightmare. And while many of us were navigating awkward family conversations or overeating leftovers, Diddy was navigating the cold, hard reality of prison life. No turkey, no tinsel, just steel bars and fluorescent lighting. At some point during this alleged meltdown, Diddy informed prison staff that he wasn't feeling great and requested to be taken to a hospital. Whether he was genuinely unwell or just looking for a brief escape from MDC's less than cozy accommodations is up for debate. Either way, his request was swiftly denied medical attention, and left to his own devices. Diddy turned to a surprising source of comfort: meditation. The same man who once rapped about champagne and private jets is now finding solace in deep breathing exercises. According to an insider, it took Diddy a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to pull himself out of the funk. Dr. Hendrick, a former associate warden at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, weighed in on the situation in an interview. His take: let's just say he wasn't exactly brimming with sympathy. "We used to send inmates to the hospital for hangnails," Hendrick quipped. So apparently he's just trying to get out of the institution and they're having no part of it. He simply meant the staff at MDC isn't buying what Diddy's selling. Whether it's a genuine health concern or just a creative attempt to escape prison monotony, Hendrick's comment suggests that Diddy will need to find another way to pass the time. As for his fans, they're left wondering whether their idol will win this case or if this meltdown is just the beginning of a much larger problem. But reports indicate that this isn't the first time Diddy has been acting out behind bars. While specific details are scarce, insiders suggest that his behavior is raising eyebrows and potentially jeopardizing his case. If there's one thing we know about the legal system, it's that throwing tantrums, no matter how justified, rarely earns you brownie points with judges or prosecutors. So, what exactly has Diddy been doing? Is he rapping diss tracks about the prison food or organizing dance-offs in the yard? Diddy's life behind bars. There's an age-old nugget of wisdom passed around in prison yards: if you mind your own business, you live longer. But it seems Sean Diddy Combs might have missed that memo. Instead of focusing on his own mounting legal battles, the music mogul appears to be caught up in a whirlwind of distractions, including the latest drama surrounding fellow inmate Luigi Mangione. But the truth is, Luigi isn't his problem right now. His new 41 lawsuits are. Yes, 41 lawsuits. And no, this isn't a typo. In fact, 40 of those lawsuits are allegations of sexual misconduct. The lawsuits have been piling up like unopened fan mail, with 3 new accusers stepping forward in just the last 3 weeks. But instead of facing the music-y, Diddy has reportedly been refusing to leave his cell to accept these legal documents in person. According to Dr. Hendrick, a former associate warden at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, this behavior isn't exactly helping his case. It's not going to stop anything, it's just going to delay it a little bit, Dr. Hendrick told reporters. But he needs to get focused on what he needs to do to fight for his freedom and these allegations. Wise words, but apparently Diddy is too busy perfecting his prison pout. Dr. Hendrick didn't hold back in his critique of Diddy's behavior behind bars. The more he acts up, the more he panders, and the more he cries, the guiltier he appears. He said bluntly, I know he's got to be proven guilty in a court of law, but his actions are very diva-like. And trust me, diva antics don't win you any friends in this institution, or any other future one he might find himself in. Reports suggest that 2024 Christmas was about as festive as a wet sock. Forget lavish meals or gold-plated cutlery. Diddy was looking at a sad, skimpy holiday sack from the MDC commissary list. According to prison expert Larry Levine, this Christmas sack is essentially a plastic pillow stuffed with expired odds and ends. It's a bunch of crap that probably was purchased because it was out of date, Levine explained, adding that the prison system likes to spin this as doing inmates a favor. They're trying to act like they're Santa Claus when really they're just dumping their leftovers. While some critics argue that Diddy is simply being picky and expecting 5-star treatment behind bars, others are raising eyebrows at his apparent physical transformation. Rumors are swirling that the rapper is looking thinner and grayer these days. Is it stress, lack of access to his favorite personal chef, or maybe just the realization that prison life doesn't come with VIP bottle service? Like, whatever the reason, it seems Diddy is struggling to adapt to his new reality. Of course, prison life is no walk in the park for anyone, let alone someone accustomed to living large. But if Diddy wants to win back public sympathy, or at least not alienate everyone around him, he might want to take Dr. Hendrick's advice and get his act together. Less diva, more defense, strategy, dieting, danger, or just drama. Sean Diddy Combs, the music mogul and cultural icon, has always been a big figure in every sense of the phrase. So when whispers about his noticeably thinner frame began circulating after a recent court appearance, the internet did what the internet does best, spiraled into a frenzy of speculation. Is he dieting, in danger, or it's just drama? Cameras were banned from the courtroom, leaving us all to rely on secondhand observations and the imagination of conspiracy theorists. But one thing is clear, Diddy's new look has people talking. Reports suggest Diddy appeared astonishingly thinner, sparking rumors that he's been skipping meals. While some chalk it up to picky eating or stress, others are convinced there's more to the story. One person in particular is Larry Levine, founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants and unofficial king of wild theories. Levine has a rather sinister take on Diddy's alleged dietary habits, or lack thereof. According to Levine, it wouldn't be shocking if Diddy is deliberately avoiding food for safety reasons. His reasoning: the Bad Boy Records founder has made his fair share of enemies over the years, and prison is not exactly known for its Michelin-starred chefs or airtight security protocols. He gets a lot of people in trouble. People want to kill him, Levine bluntly stated, with all the subtlety of a tabloid headline. He went on to suggest that someone on the outside could potentially bribe a prison worker to tamper with Diddy's meals. What if they put something in his food a little bit at a time and then boom, he's poisoned? Early checkout for Mr. Puff Daddy. Levine's theory may sound like the plot of a B-grade thriller, but let's be honest, this is Diddy we're talking about. If anyone could turn a prison cafeteria into a high-stakes game of culinary Russian roulette, it's him. Of course, not everyone is buying into Levine's dramatic narrative. Some believe Diddy's weight loss is simply a result of stress or selective eating habits. After all, prison food isn't exactly known for its gourmet appeal. Who wouldn't lose a few pounds when faced with a daily menu of mystery meat and overcooked vegetables? As if Diddy's dietary dilemmas weren't enough to keep us entertained, Nancy Grace has entered the chat. The fiery legal commentator and TV journalist has turned her attention to the curious case of Luigi Mangione. What's her take on all this Diddy drama? Let's find out. Nancy Grace verdict. Nancy Grace, the ever-opinionated legal commentator and television journalist, has turned her sharp gaze to the latest headline-grabbing scandal, Luigi Mangione. Known by some as the healthcare assassin and by others as the new hot felon, Mangione's story has all the makings of a tabloid fever dream: crime, charisma, and chaos. And of course, Nancy has thoughts. According to Grace, there's a peculiar code of conduct in the underworld, a sort of honor among thieves. She describes it with her trademark flair. Inmates have each other's backs until a prosecutor dangles a juicy plea deal in front of them. At that point, loyalty goes out the window faster than Mangione's alleged morals. And if your fellow inmates decide you're more trouble than you're worth, well, let's just say you'll find yourself up the creek without a paddle. But Mangione isn't the only inmate under Nancy's microscope. Nancy mused aloud about whether the inmates were initially starstruck when Combs first arrived at his current accommodations. After all, he's not just rich, he's multi-millionaire rich. Some even whisper billionaire. For a brief moment, the prison yard may have felt like a red carpet, but even celebrities can overstay their welcome. According to Grace, the honeymoon phase ended very fast. Diddy's alleged antics, demanding tablets, throwing tantrums over food, sulking about his incarceration, have reportedly worn thin on his fellow inmates. Grace quipped that his behavior might be better suited for a reality show than a prison block. Dr. Hendrick, another expert weighing in on the matter, backed up Grace's observations with a touch of clinical detachment. In terms of inmates being starstruck, Hendrick said that may have lasted 5 minutes, but after that, celebrity status means zilch behind bars unless you can make yourself useful or profitable to the other inmates. And here's where things get dicey for Diddy. According to Hendrick, it's only a matter of time before extortion comes into play. If it hasn't already started, it's looming on the horizon like a bad prison tattoo. Hendrick explained that if an inmate becomes a nuisance or worse, a liability, the other prisoners might take matters into their own hands, whether it's asking staff to move the troublemaker or finding more creative solutions. Prison politics are not for the faint of heart. Currently, Diddy is likely housed with non-violent offenders, a relatively cushy arrangement in the grand scheme of incarceration. But if he's convicted of his alleged crimes and shipped off to prison, Grace predicts he'll face a rude awakening if he doesn't adjust his attitude. The way he's behaving right now, Dr. Hendrick warns Nakimura, is not going to look very good for him in the future. And then there's the financial fallout. If Diddy is convicted, his victims are expected to receive hefty payouts. However, this raises a pressing question. How much money will Diddy have left to buy protection once he's behind bars? Unlike gang-affiliated inmates who have built-in networks of allies and enforcers, Diddy is flying solo. He's painted himself as a suave CEO and businessman, but that image may not carry much weight when survival becomes the name of the game. His high-maintenance behavior might work in the boardroom or at an awards show after party, but in prison, not so much. Now, to the question everyone is asking, is Diddy even safe in prison? It's a fair question and one that doesn't come with an easy answer. Thanks for watching, fam. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Before you leave, you should check out the next video that pops up on your screen.